Hello again. So, redoing this video because of YouTube blocking it because of copyrighted bullshit. Go on the 7th seas and find this PCU 1994, a good example, no, good predictor actually from what would happen later in the USA. And let's look at the start. So this is about a protest. Vegan protests. Moonbeam, yeah, of course. Level of insensitivity was typical, outrageous, or unconscionable. Unconscionable. I was annoyed, offended, or scarred for my life. Scarred for life, it should be, or scared for my life, I think. Offended. Okay, this offense is deserving written apology. Sensitivity awareness lecture. Sensitivity awareness weekend. That's exactly what the wokies want. This kind of stuff. This is political correctness bullshit. And what was it? That guy who made repair videos of Mac laptops and also about right to repair. He mentioned about, yeah, what is woke? Come on, everyone knows what's woke. It's political correctness. It's oppressive. It's trying to make others do what they want to do. They're the small minorities trying to oppress their will onto the majority. This captures it all. Then we go to this, the start of it, 10 minutes. Let's see. Here's the deal. They call it PC. Yes, what is it? PC. Politically correct. Let's wait. Let's have a look. Like this. Continuing. It's not just politics. It's just everything. It's what you eat. It's what you wear. It's what you say. If you don't watch yourself, you can get in a buttload of trouble. Yeah. So this guy is a newcomer to the university, gets shown around, sees all the craziness. Because he shows them, all these girls, yeah, no, you don't. They're women. Call them girls, not allowed. And if other protesters, other groups, now comes from something very interesting. Which is this. What? These women? No, women. Those aren't women, Tom. They're womenists. Note the spelling. This is exactly what you've been seeing for the past 4 years, longer actually, in especially the USA. So the political correctness was somewhat of a invention or thought from a French philosopher, but it wasn't really. As I mentioned before, this started actually long ago. It is also not Soviet, so Yuri Bezmenov, etc. Absolutely not, and not the what was the school? Some philosophers from the 1920s, 30s. Also not the origin of the problem. Origin of the problem lies farther back, and I'll go into that in my project. And if I say it now, as I mentioned in a comment before, then you won't believe me. So I need some sort of explanation with background to show why it all happens. So this philosopher doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the other philosophers in earlier times, what happens, not even feminism, but something earlier, which is really important in society. So the USA, yeah, that's where it got hold, because there it's fit, not in Western Europe, but it got exported to Western Europe via, for example, media. Why it got hold? Because of certain views in society, issues in society. It would have got hold somehow, almost certainly somewhere. Where exactly doesn't matter. Because of, as I said, this issue in society, which I'm not going to name, otherwise you will say, that's absolute bullshit, but it isn't. And it led to, of course, especially the last 4 years, complete insanity in the USA with with the Democrats who just let in people into the society, people who hate the USA, walking around with other countries' flags, who commit crimes, etc. They had this guy a bald guy in women's clothes who stole luggage from women, and he was wearing that. You have this demented general who was also something about physician or something. Craziness going on there. Of course, also censorship, and censorship approved by and paid for apparently by USAID. But in any case, Zuckerberg from Facebook said it does come from there, a lot of it. It's oppressed onto the companies. Now that's gone by Trump. And let's call Trump what he is, which is Orangeutan. Orangutan. Both are, although I would say it's an insult to orangutans who have more common sense, I think, and more sense in making decisions than this guy. What really happens is orangutan is really a mafia don. Donald, yeah, the mafia don fits perfectly. He wants to extort Ukraine for minerals in exchange for weapons delivery that were not actually delivered because the USA did not give anywhere near 500 billion, maybe 100, a bit more, and that was given without any requirement to pay anything back. Secondly, the USA guaranteed Ukraine's safety in 1994 for giving up its nukes. So the USA is actually renegotiating, reneging all deals, does not care about treaties, just like Russia. Criminal goes with criminal. And why does Trump dislike wokeness? That has nothing really to do with what makes sense, because he's not a truth seeker. The left is also not, there are not truth seekers. It's because the wokies are antisocial and oppressive. You've seen it in the comments where someone said, I should get off the internet. Yeah, no, the antisocial oppressive nut job should get off the internet. I'm certainly not getting off the internet, and I'm also not impressed or interested in any of their comments. They mean absolutely nothing. They show only exactly what is clear, which is they tell you something about themselves. They are antisocial, they are oppressive, they try insults, don't work on me. I know insults work almost always, in this sense that they tell you something about the person who is making the insults. And for me, what I say about other people, or that is almost always correct. I make mistakes now and then, but it's not about me. It's about what I see in reality. So, for example, someone I knew via my website lived in Kharkov. I went there in 2017, I think, and I met him. So I was on a trip and I thought, okay, let's maybe he's there and we could meet, have a talk. It could be interesting. We had a talk and he said, yeah, I talked a bit about the things I was busy with, which was at the time mostly anti-manipulation, dealing with that, analyzing everything, and that turned into analyzing everything about life, understanding different thinking of men and women. And I realized that actually it's very important to understand antisocial behavior, because from that is a starting point to understand everything else. It's a really important point. From that you really understand how everything works. So that in a sense it was good that I started with that. But I started with that because of experiences I had with Airport Schiphol longer ago. And at the time I was also I saw some political correctness. In 2004, 2005, I wrote about put everything about Airport Schiphol on my website. Around the time, I was also thinking about putting something about political correctness on my website. Didn't do that. I have it in a zip file somewhere. I'm going to look it up. And I considered it mental illness, and it is antisocial and oppressive. It's just like psychopaths want to do, manipulative psychopaths. The same antisocial behavior you see with the wokies. So in the comments you can read with my video why wokeness got more into Linux than the BSDs. That is because of the license, and wokies come in, and some of them tried insults. Of course, it only tells you something about themselves. They tried being oppressive, doesn't work. I'm not impressed, and I will not. I'm not going to do anything anyone else says because they say something. I only do what I think needs to be done, nothing else. And then there's people saying something about me, and then not just insults, all wrong. Obviously, they don't know anything, even though what I am and what I do and what I say is really clear, and what my goals are. It is really clear in everything. I seek the truth. They don't seek the truth. The right wing doesn't seek the truth. The left wing does not seek the truth. That's a huge problem in society, especially the USA. The USA has become like a mafia state now, with the Orangeutan acting like a mafia don, side with Russia at the UN. It's absolutely insane. They might as well start delivering weapons now to Russia. It's crazy. He got into power because of the insane stance of the Democrats. Otherwise it wouldn't have happened. But the USA is a complete shit show of insanity on the left and on the right. And it's the same in the media there. And you have to consider them almost like an enemy now as Europeans. Absolutely untrustworthy. Wants to deal with Russia. We'll see what happens. Maybe it'll turn out better, but that only would happen if Putin decides for example, decides to do something that would annoy Trump. Otherwise, he's going to continue with his insane plans and insane wishes. So in 2010, I was thinking about what to do with my life. I thought about emigrating. I didn't like the Netherlands at all. And I thought, I wasn't thinking any country in Western Europe, even though I liked the UK. And later when I went there, for humor, for example, TV series at that time, later they became all woke and unwatchable. And when I went there in 2018, 2019 in London and in another city, a small city, town more. No, city, but also, was it Oxford? Was it Cambridge? One of the two. I went to one and it doesn't matter. I thought, it's cool in also buildings, nature is nice. But it's culturally self-destructing, just like Western Europe, the rest of Western Europe, but UK extra fast. So it wasn't an option anyway. And so my plans did not change. First time in Ukraine was in 2012. I was on an airplane with a guy who was from Russia originally, but who lived in Odessa. We went to Kiev on the airplane. He came at the last moment. On the airplane, sat right next to me. He started talking to me when he saw I was reading something in German and Russian. So it was like a course in German to learn Russian. Did not get to do any studying on that trip. I thought I'd use that trip for studying. Got talking to him. He was negative about the Netherlands. He did not make it clear. I tried to get it from him. Maybe he didn't want to really tell what his view was, but it was it was, I think, immigrants who did not like it in the Netherlands, who were complaining about everything, and I've seen that as well. And I said, why the hell didn't you get out? And that was my view as always. If you don't like it, get out. Stop complaining, stop whining, stop accusing. The only countries that really created progress in life, on the world, in all kinds of senses, like not just technological, but also what's required really for that, which is philosophy, science, etc. The Europeans created that. Within the later parts also the USA, of course, and from the Europeans living there and from Europeans emigrating to there. And then they get all the blame for everything in the world, which is absolutely insane, which is unacceptable to me, which is also one of the reasons why I don't like it in any country which does such self-deprecating as happens in Western Europe. I'm not interested in that. It's just insanity. And what goes on now? What can we expect? Yeah, for the future. So I thought in 2010, no, I saw no future. I told him that I saw no future for the USA. It would go down the drain. And that's exactly how it has gone, although it has gone quicker towards towards that. I did not expect it to go this fast. But I did not like what I saw then. And this was also to do with political correctness and other factors, the destabilization of society, etc. You don't see that as much in the Netherlands or other parts of Western Europe. The UK is the worst in this respect. But I thought I wanted to go somewhere else, and I thought, okay, what else? I looked for maybe Russia. Didn't know about Georgia having been invaded by that time. Ended up in Ukraine, and I liked everything there, so that fit with me, and it's great. I said to he said he saw great future for the USA. He liked it, but he was also an economist. He had a degree in economy and also history, I think. But yeah, the USA, you have good opportunities for development, for economic things. If you're successful, if you're unsuccessful, then it'll be a very harsh place to live. Far worse than Western Europe. But yeah, a friend of mine, for example, from the USA, who had lived in several countries in Western Europe, said people in the USA will say about if you have an idea for something to develop something, business idea or something like that. Yeah, good idea, go for it. And in Western Europe, people will say, nah, it'll never work. So that's a negative attitude. That's the idea I also had when I was about 10 or so already. It was weird. At the time, I thought about going to the USA, and I think for this reason that excellence is valued there more. Whereas in the Netherlands, it's not really. There's even a saying about it, which is don't stick out your head above the mowing field. It'll get cut off. So I think I'm not sure exactly why I had this idea about moving to the USA when I was 10, but that was what I wanted. And I'm pretty sure I felt the repression in the Netherlands, where excellence is not really valued. Later, of course, that changed. In 2010, I wanted to change my life. Unfortunately, at that time, I had problems with house renovations that needed a lot of money. Then I had business, which was had just started a new idea, and it was problematic because of the financial crisis. Banks did not want to loan any money, etc. So it took a long time to get everything sorted out. But when on my travels, I thought yes. Every time I thought yes, this is a cool place to live. And now that I'm here, yeah, I feel nice here. And my view about Trump is not related to that. It's not about that I live here in Ukraine. It is about just antisocial behavior, which I dislike. This is also why I dislike, for example, that company that makes locks, Light Lock in the UK. They're just antisocial. They lie in their videos. They got one video blocked from the USA from playing in the UK because it's supposedly defamatory, which it isn't. It just shows that with a crowbar or something like that, you can twist the lock, the threads, the original Light Lock from years ago. The original product with which they started could be easily defeated that way by twisting and then getting the strands of the lock, because it was very strands, ripped out piece by piece, one by one or a few at a time. Now what's the USA doing with the Orangeutan? Siding with Russia. Absolute insanity. They might as well send them weapons and money. And I think I saw some comments somewhere about the possibly aluminium being in a deal with Russia and the USA. He's completely insane. All these people in the US government siding with Russia are insane. So what can you expect? How should you treat the USA? Yeah. as a pariah state, just like Russia, North Korea, Iran, China really also, which does not behave properly at all. It tries to grab land, tries to grab sea, tries to create islands to grab sea, make it their territory, etc. All these kinds of stuff, as if they don't have enough land. And in Russia as well, as if they are not big enough. It's like psychopaths are never satisfied with what they have. Yeah, the future for the USA, as I mentioned, I thought in 2010 it was bleak, and now, and this guy who was a PhD in economy thought, yeah, it's really good. I don't see it. And this channel that I mentioned before, Elvira Barry, said USA. Which one was it? USA will be okay. I'm not so sure. It's a complete shit show in politics and in media, and there's no seeking of truth at all going on. There needs to be a change. It's also in Western Europe, but in Western Europe, it's nowhere near as crazy as in the USA. That's it for now. Bye.